Good afternoon and welcome to Express News. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Let's begin with the stories. President Draupadi Murmu expressed grief on the death of actor and former Member of Parliament Dharmendra. President said, as a towering figure of Indian cinema, he leaves behind a legacy which will continue to inspire young generations of artists. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also condoled the passing of veteran actor Dharmendra, calling it an end of an era in Indian cinema. Prime Minister called the late actor an iconic film personality, phenomenal actor who brought charm and depth to every role he played. Legendary actor Dharmendra passed away on Monday at the age of 89 in Mumbai. Family members, colleagues and fans gathered to bid final farewell. President Draupadi Murmu on Monday administered the oath to Justice Surya Kant as 53rd Chief Justice of India, marking the beginning of his around 14-month tenure in the country's highest judicial office. Prime Minister Modi on Monday attended the oath-taking ceremony of Justice Surya Kant as the Chief Justice of India. Prime Minister Modi returned to New Delhi on Monday after concluding the successful visit to Johannesburg for the G20 summit. Prime Minister said it will contribute to a prosperous and sustainable planet. Prime Minister Modi shared highlights of Sunday's engagements on social media, during which PM called on the IPSA to send a strong message that reform of institutions of global governance, in particular UN Security Council, is now not an option but an imperative. The Indian Navy on Monday commissioned INS Mahe, the first vessel of the Mahe-class anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft. Chief of the Army Staff General Upendra Dwivedi for the first time commissioned INS Mahe at the Naval Dockyard in Mumbai. Speaking at the event, Army Chief General Dwivedi called the successful delivery of INS Mahe as an example of excellence and professionalism. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Monday participated in International Geeta Mahotsav being held in Kurukshetra, Haryana. Speaking on Operation Sindoor at the Mahotsav, Rajnath Singh said, India demonstrated to the world that India does not seek war, but if forced, the country does not shy away from battle and gives a befitting reply. Speaking at the Sindhi Samaj Sammelan in New Delhi on Sunday, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that borders can change and that Sindh could one day return to India. He also underscored the deep cultural significance of Sindh region in Indian civilization. In a statement on Monday, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited (HAL) called the crash of the Indian Air Force Tejas fighter jet in Dubai Air Show an isolated occurrence arising out of exceptional circumstances. The 19th edition of annual bilateral exercise Surya Kiran between Indian Army and Nepal Army will be conducted from 25th of November in Uttarakhand's Pithoragarh. Ayodhya is gearing up for landmark moment on November 25th when Prime Minister Modi will lead the grand flag hoisting ceremony atop the newly completed Ram Temple. Ahead of the big day, security has tightened in Ayodhya with cancellation of all advance bookings made by pilgrims for November 24th and 25th and around 100 additional CISF personnel deployed at the Ayodhya airport. President Draupadi Murmu on Monday paid tributes to Guru Tegh Bahadur on 350th Martyrdom Day of Guru Tegh Bahadur. In a post on X, President called his message of walking on the path of religion, justice and steadfastness an inspiration for all humanity. On the occasion of Lachit Divas, Prime Minister Modi remembered Lachit Borphukan, describing him as a symbol of courage, patriotism and true leadership. In a post on X, Prime Minister stated that Lachit Borphukan's heroism continues to inspire generations across the nation. The Assam State Cabinet has taken key decisions, including approval of the maintenance, repair and overall policy of Assam 2025 that aims at positioning Assam as the leading aviation MRO hub for Northeast India by 2030. Indian equity indices ended lower on Monday with Nifty below 25,950, Nifty 50 was down by around 108 points and closed at 25,959.50. At close, Sensex was down by 331 points at 84,900.71 on Monday. Indian rupee ended 17 paise higher at 89.23 per dollar on Monday. Gold futures maturing on 5th December was priced at 1,23,334 per 10 grams on multi-commodity exchange. And silver futures for 5th December maturity stood at 1,53,788 rupees per kilo on the MCX. Brent crude oil futures fell to $61.95 per barrel on Monday. European Union ministers are set to urge top US trade officials to apply more of the July EU-US trade deal, such as by cutting US tariffs on EU steel. BHP Group pulled back from a last-ditch effort to buy Anglo American and bolster its dominance in copper just 2 weeks before shareholders at Anglo and Canada's Teck Resources were set to vote on a $60 billion tie-up. Bitcoin mining is quietly staging a comeback in China despite being banned 4 years ago. China, which had zero market share post-ban, now ranks third globally with 14% share. A Singapore court has cleared the way for $2.7 billion lawsuit against Standard Chartered Bank over its alleged role in One Malaysia Development PhD scandal. The White House on Sunday said that talks in Switzerland on proposal to end the Ukraine conflict marked a significant step forward. The statement reaffirmed that any eventual deal would fully uphold the country's sovereignty. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who led the talks, said work remains to be done on questions including the role of NATO, but that his team had narrowed down the unresolved issues in 28-point peace plan for Ukraine championed by President Donald Trump. Rubio said United States still needed time to address the pending issues and hoped a deal could be reached by Thursday, but suggested that it could also take longer. European officials joined US and Ukrainian delegations for talks after crafting a modified version of the US plan that pushes back on proposed limits to Kiev's armed forces and mooted territorial concessions. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday said Kiev would continue to work with its partners on compromises on US peace proposals to strengthen, not weaken, Ukraine. Zelensky on Sunday said that Ukraine was grateful to the United States and to President Donald Trump for all American efforts aimed at helping Kiev. Earlier, Donald Trump had said Ukraine has not been grateful for American efforts related to conflict, even as US weapons continue to flow and Europe keeps buying Russian oil. EU Chief von der Leyen opened the EU-AU summit on Monday, where European and African leaders gathered in Luanda, Angola, for talks aimed at strengthening economic and security ties. At least 4 people were killed, several injured after a Russian drone strike on Ukraine's Kharkiv on Sunday. Washington's new terror designation for an alleged Venezuelan cartel takes effect on Monday. The U.S. State Department will add up to Cartel de los Solas to its foreign terrorist organization list, a designation that Washington says targets a network responsible for violence across the Americas, claiming that the cartel is controlled by President Nicolas Maduro. The Department of Government Efficiency, launched by the US President Trump and initially led by Elon Musk, has quietly disbanded with 8 months left on its official mandate. The Israel Defense Forces said it has eliminated Hezbollah's chief of staff, Ali Tabtabai, after a rare Israeli strike hit Beirut on Sunday, despite a US brokered truce a year ago. The Israeli army released a video claiming to show the strike that killed Ali Tabtabai. In a short televised statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would not allow Hezbollah to rebuild its forces and that he expected the Lebanese government to fulfill its obligations to disarm Hezbollah. Lebanon's health ministry said strike killed 5 people and wounded 28 more. It hit a multi-story building, sending debris crashing into cars on the main road below. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi said on Sunday that she did not meet with Chinese Premier Li Qiang during G20, but emphasized that her country was open to various forms of dialogue with China. Seoul Central District Court is set to hear closing arguments in the case against South Korea's former Prime Minister Han Duck-seo. On Wednesday, he faces charges of allegedly aiding ex-president Yoon Suk-yeol in an attempted insurrection. A suicide bombing killed 3 Pakistani paramilitary personnel at the Federal Constabulary headquarters in Peshawar on Monday. One attacker detonated explosives at the gate while security forces shot dead 2 others. The police chief of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa said operation had concluded and teams were checking the area for any remaining explosives. No group has claimed responsibility. Social media app Snapchat has begun asking teenage Australians to verify their ages ahead of the December 10th ban on social media for the under 16. We're heading for a short break. There's more coming up in Express News.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Sikkim is not a destination, it's a journey. Into spirituality, into untouched nature,
Welcome back. You're watching Express News. Let's continue with the stories. Flooding has reached a critical stage in Thailand's Hatay. Continued heavy rains has caused rapid surge in water levels. Severe flooding has trapped numerous residents and tourists in hotels and residential buildings. Thai Army continues its rescue operations in worst hit areas that are severely restricted. In response to the growing disaster, Thai Prime Minister Anuthin Charnvirakul on Sunday visited a temporary shelter to assess the damage. Heavy rain, severe flooding and landslides in Vietnam killed at least 91 people last week. The Environment Ministry estimated economic losses of $341 million across 5 provinces. Authorities started recovery efforts in central Vietnam. People returned to homes strewn with debris where they were seen retrieving belongings. More than 11,000 people in 7 Malaysian states have been affected by flooding caused by torrential rains. According to the authorities, the situation in Kelantan remains critical. Heavy snow and strong winds swept across several parts of northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, disrupting transport and prompting emergency operations across the cities. In China's Mulei County, blowing snow on several expressways left vehicles stranded, prompting traffic police to conduct rescue operations in heavy snow and work to restore traffic flow. In western Xinjiang, a sleet of weather of rain and snow quickly froze urban roads, prompting the local authorities to arrange clearing overnight. Thousands of people in Australia's Northern Territory were without power after a tropical cyclone brought destructive winds to the region. Lava spewed from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano on Sunday. The USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory said that periodic overflows from the southern wind were continuing amid the latest eruption. As snowfall hits Paris, Montmartre turned into an impromptu playground with snow averaged 1 to 4 centimeters across the Ile-de-France region. Weather warnings for snow and ice have now been lifted for the French capital and its inner suburbs. In Tamil Nadu, incessant heavy rains damaged roads in Tirunelveli district, causing potholes resulting in difficulties for people. 5 days of heavy rains in Tamil Nadu's Tirunelveli district have sharply raised water levels of major reservoirs, including Papanasam, Seravalaru and Mani Muthar. The annual Torioichi festival was held in Otori Shrine in Tokyo's Akakusa district on Monday, drawing crowds of business owners and tourists looking to buy traditional lucky rake. The Torinoichi festival dates back to the Edo period, which spanned from 17th to 19th century and is held across Japan each November on the Tori or rooster days determined by the zodiac and lunar calendar. Abu Dhabi has opened the Middle East's largest natural history museum. The institution spans 13.8 billion years of history, featuring world-famous specimens like Stan and T-Rex, a blue whale skeleton alongside local Arabian finds. More than 200 visitors say goodbye to the famous panda pair, who are set to leave France's Beauvais Zoo for return to China due to the female panda's kidney failure. 15 years after its creation, the Paris street art mausoleum, created by artists Lec and Sowat, opened its doors to the public on the outer edge of Paris. Nearly 30,000 square meters of former supermarket were transformed by the invited artists. The site features layered murals, graffiti from multiple generations of street artists. Tomorrowland, a staple of European electronic music festival circuit, makes its China debut in Shanghai. The music festival, held for the first time indoors, and the electronic dance music EDM festival drew thousands of ravers to the Hero Dome. A spectacular light and laser show organized to mark the 350th martyrdom anniversary of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is taking place at the Red Fort today. India made a notable appearance this year at the International Documentary Film Festival Amsterdam with the documentary film Red Light to Limelight. The 56th International Film Festival of India, IFFI, entered its fifth day with gala premieres of Indian panorama film screenings of around 10 to 15 films. Bollywood actor Farhan Akhtar starrer 120 Bahadur has stormed the box office with over 10 crore rupees in its opening weekend. The makers of upcoming film Tu Meri Main Tera Tu Meri have released its teaser. Kartik Aaryan and Ananya Pandey starrer is set for December 25th release. Bollywood film De De Pyar De 2 continues its strong box office run with a total collection of rupees 61.85 crores at the box office. Hundreds of fans of the series Stranger Things strolled along the Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles on Sunday to immerse themselves in the world of the hit sci-fi drama. The event featured 80s nostalgia, interactive photo ops, live music, a sneak peek of trailer for Stranger Things 5, premiering on November 26th. A foggy tale film about early part of Taiwan's 1950s, the White Terror era, won Best Picture at Taipei at Golden Horse Awards. Taiwanese actor Chang Shen was crowned the Best Leading Actor for his role in Lucky Liu, a movie depicting the life of a migrant delivery man in New York City. Hollywood singing stars Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson attended the London premiere of their new musical film Song Sung Blue. Universal Pictures musical Wicked for Good continues to defy gravity at the box office with a total of $226 million earned globally. India's northwestern state of Rajasthan is set to host the Khelo India University Games, which will kick off today with an opening ceremony in Jaipur city. The Games will be held in 7 cities of Rajasthan, with the event scheduled to run from 24th November to 5th December. Prime Minister Narendra Modi commended the Indian blind women's cricket team after they clinched the inaugural Blind Women's T20 World Cup. Prime Minister congratulated the Indian boxers after their exemplary performance at the World Boxing Cup finals. Fast bowler Marco Jansen took 6 wickets as South Africa bowled out India for 201 on day 3 of the second test in Guwahati. Yashasvi Jaiswal top scored with 58 runs and added 65 for the opening partnership with KL Rahul. Senior batsman KL Rahul will captain India in the upcoming 3 one-day internationals against South Africa in the absence of injured skipper Shubman Gill. Left-arm spinner Ravindra Jadeja and wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant have also returned to the Indian ODI team for the series starting 30th November. Kane Williamson has been included in the New Zealand's 14-man test squad to face the West Indies in 3-match series next month. The Indian men's hockey team opened their Sultan Azlan Shah Cup campaign with a 1-0 win against South Korea in Ipoh City of Malaysia. Defending champions Italy claimed a third Davis Cup in as many years after beating Spain in 2-0 in Bologna City. Former middleweight champion Gennady Golovkin was elected president of World Boxing, which will run the sport at the 2028 Olympic Games. Striker Morgan Rogers netted a double as the Aston Villa beat Leeds United 2-1 and moved into the Premier League's top 4. Jude Bellingham struck late to secure a 2-2 draw for Real Madrid, taking his team to top of the La Liga standings by a point. And Roma moved top of Serie A after winning 3-1 at the could not see in taking 2-point lead over Napoli ahead of the Milan derby. And with that, we conclude this edition of Express News. Namaskar.